Thank you so much for coming out. They said have me go first and then he'll go after. Okay. Well, I'm sorry. Sorry, Lindsay. That's okay. You come right here. Come on close, friends.
Awesome. You want to take a big step forward? Yes, you're perfect. You're great. That yellow is so good. And you got
I love that.
It makes you twice as big and you hold the side of the back. Tax the rich. Takers for tax the rich. Will you stand over here so you're not in front of the other class part? Thank you. We love a tax the rich. We do love a tax the rich.
All right.
Okay.
All right. All right. We're good.
We gotta get that money. What does the
All right, we ready?
Ready.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Yes, I love this energy. Good morning. My name is Laura Chu Weens. I'm the Executive Director of Pittsburghers for Public Transit. We are the founders and among several organizational leaders of Transit for All PA, which is a statewide coalition of transit riders, transit workers, human service providers, and businesses organizing to ensure that our state passes a budget that funds the transit service that all communities deserve, with no communities left behind. So I'd like to start, yes, that's right, that's what we need. I'd like to start by seeing a show of hands. How many of you have done the jobs that you were paid for over the last 3 months? You got paid for a job, you did the job. What about in the last 6 months? Raise your hands. What would happen if you just decided not to show up for work for weeks at a time? You'd be fired. That's right. So consider this. The Senate has met in session for an average of only 5 days a month since the governor announced his budget on February 4th of this year. Oh, boo! Only 5 days of work every month. Now that might be okay if our state senators were getting the job done with remarkable efficiency. But we're also now 42 days past the legislature's deadline for passing a budget, and here we are with no budget. Shame. My kids, if they don't turn in a homework assignment for over a month after it's due, they would get an F.
Amen.
But let's be clear, the stalemate is not because the PA House has not done their part. Our state reps have passed multiple bills to fund public transit, to move us towards a budget deal. Representative Jessica Benham was going to join us today to say a few words, but the House went back to Harrisburg again yesterday and today to vote to pass yet another constructive transit bill to see if the Senate would finally decide to act. And they're feeling urgency because this Wednesday, the Philadelphia Transit System SEPTA will set irreversibly into motion their first round of transit cuts, eliminating a full quarter of their system. As the 5th largest transit system in the country, cutting service to that extent will unquestionably tank the state economy. That's hundreds of thousands of riders a day who will lose their lifelines and access to jobs, many of these hundreds of thousands of people going to work like we reasonably expect our paid elected officials to do as well. Okay, so who decides when the Senate calls a session? Oh yes, the Senate majority party, the Senate Republicans. With these imminent cuts, you would think that the Senate would be in session today, but no. Instead, while the PA House passes their 3rd or 4th budget proposal, and while you and I take the time out of our lives to tell the taxpayer-funded legislators to do their job, they're sitting on their butts at home. Shame. Except for the ones that are here. So I'm feeling pretty angry today because we know that the cost of inaction is not just delay, but new, irresponsible, and unnecessary costs, right? Schools across the Commonwealth are paying for services that they must provide through loans because their check hasn't cleared from Harrisburg. We'll hear today about the cost of budget uncertainty for our transit riders and workers, the cost of uncertainty for all the businesses and grocery stores and hospitals and universities that riders reach by public transit every day. Right? The Senate is finally scheduled back to session tomorrow after a weeks-long delay. We'll see whether they decide to exacerbate this hunger crisis and making it harder for low-income people to access the SNAP benefits that they are eligible to receive by failing to pass a budget yet again. But we're hopeful that tomorrow is the day that the Senate will finally act.
Do your job!
Do your job! So in our state coalition, Transit for All PA, we have tens of thousands of members who live in 247 of the 253 districts across the Commonwealth. And we're angry. And so we are here today holding this press conference in Allegheny County. Our sisters and brothers are echoing the same message in communities from Scranton to State College, Allentown to Ambridge, right? And I know that this is true too for my friends here organizing for public schools and our children, my friends organizing here and speaking up against poverty and food insecurity with their allies across the state. I do want to say a special note of recognition for our poor embattled Senate minority friends, many of whom are in the room with us and who will be speaking today. But to wrap up, I'm going to ask you all to respond for all PA after I say a few words. So we're going to practice here. I'm saying, fund transit.
For all PA!
Fund schools.
For all PA!
End hunger.
For all PA!
Bus drivers.
For all PA!
Fund teachers.
For all PA!
State workers.
For all PA!
A budget.
For all PA!
All right. By introducing a true transit champion, somebody who has also introduced the Transit for All PA transit funding package, which we are excited to continue moving. PA State Senator Lindsey Williams here in Allegheny County.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you all for being here to let Harrisburg know that there's no budget deal without public transit. I'm State Senator Lindsey Williams, and I'm proud to represent portions of the city of Pittsburgh and the North Hills and the Allegheny Valley here in Allegheny County. As a senator, I'm a proud new board member of the Pittsburgh Regional Transit, and I've had the chance to hear directly from people here in Allegheny County through hours of public testimony and also from transit riders across the state about how important public transit is to moving them every day. I've heard from Pittsburgh public and Pitt students who rely on transit to get them to class every day. We've heard from business leaders in Altoona when I was at a public transit hearing about the need for robust transit infrastructure as they work to attract young people to work and live and play in rural Pennsylvania. And my office has helped hundreds of seniors sign up for access ride sharing services to get them to doctor's appointments and to run errands, allowing them to retain their independence and stay in their homes. Your stories have made it clear our communities, our economy, and our lives depend on access to public transit, not just here in Pittsburgh, not just in Philadelphia, but all across Pennsylvania. Public transit can't keep it going the way it is, underfunded and experiencing death by 1,000 cuts. That's why the work of all of you here today at Pittsburghers for Public Transit and the Transit for All PA Coalition is so important. Because of you, we know exactly how much funding is needed and the ways to raise that money. I was proud to sponsor the Transit for All PA package in Harrisburg with my colleagues Senator Saval in Philadelphia, with my colleagues Rep. Benham and Rep. Abney here in Allegheny County, who are back in session today in Harrisburg. But I want to be clear, our legislation isn't the only way forward. They can take bits and pieces of it, they can adjust it, they can package it all together. Mayor Gainey, thanks for showing some love for public transit. So all I know is there is many ways to do this, but there is one way that we can't do it. We can't do it without public transit. And I'm willing to work with all of my colleagues to figure out how that happens. And I know that Senator Costa, who's going to come up here after me, is also at the table saying, let's go, let's get this done. So thank you for all the work that you do. We could not do this without Pittsburghers for Public Transit, the coalition, our friends in labor at ATU. Ross is over there, is going to speak later too. As the granddaughter of a Luzerne County bus driver, I know that transit workers move people. So I'm proud. So proud to amplify your stories. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And now I'd like to introduce the Senate Minority Leader, also a champion for transit, for jobs, for food access, for schools, Senator Jay Costa.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Lauren. Let me start by saying thank you to all the folks who are here today, all the groups and organizations that are part of the conversations taking place all across this Commonwealth. Your voices are being heard by Democrats right now, unfortunately. Well, now we got to convince Republicans that that's what needs to be done. Let me also say that I'm happy to report just moments ago that our Democratic friends in the House of Representatives passed House Bill 1788, which does the things we needed to do, at least at this moment in time. It provides funding for transit. It provides resources for roads and bridges, and it addresses reforms that need to be put into place. All the things that our Republican colleagues have asked for. So we're going to continue to fight. We know that this is not the perfect solution to what we're looking for, but we must do something. We must act now. And let me be very clear. What is not acceptable is what our Senate Pro Tem Kim Ward is talking about, taking money from the Public Trust Fund that is utilized for capital projects, shifting to operating. That is not a solution. That is not what we should be doing. We need to make investments with operating resources into our transit system across the Commonwealth. We also have to recognize that by taking money from the Public Trust Fund, from the capital part, means that we're not going to be investing in projects. Projects will need to be eliminated. Good construction jobs won't be happening in our region because there's no more projects to fund. And more importantly, projects and roads and bridges related to transit that are deteriorating may not be fixed. That is not a solution. We need to be clear about that. We need operating resources to move forward, and we're going to continue to fight. And I stand here to tell you that all 23 Senate Democrats are going to continue to fight and have been fighting for transit. And you've got our commitment along those lines. And let me also tell you, it goes beyond transit because we're going to fight, and we have been fighting, for investments in education. We're going to continue to fight for investments in environmental programs that are important. And we're going to continue to fight for human service programs, particularly as they try to ratchet back and cut more Medicaid programs here in Pennsylvania. We're going to continue to fight back and push back on all those things. So you've got our commitment, and I'm pleased to be here, certainly with my colleague, Senator Williams, who's been one of the strongest advocates in all these spaces as we have going forward. So thank you. Thank you, Lord, for the work that's being done, and more importantly, thank all of you who are here today. Your voices are going to be heard and resonate across this Commonwealth. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Senator Costa. I'd like to invite now the Allegheny County Labor Council President, Darren Kelly, to the podium. Give him a big... You're all good. Sorry.
Before I say a few words, to all of you back here, you're not just standing ground for what's good, you're standing ground for what is right. You are standing up for people that cannot stand up for themselves. So put that badge of honor on your back, and you always have us here with you. So thank you so much. Listen, nobody understands more that there's a time for politics more than me. But that's enough. That is enough. You made your point. You're holding up the funding. That's enough. It's August 11th. We have millions of our children getting ready to go back to school here with an uncertain future. You are role models by proclamation, by being elected. Am I right? One way or another, you assume that role. With that role, there is a responsibility. All of us are about to make the trip up to Harrisburg in about a half hour. What is happening here is wrong. Wrong, no matter which way you look at it. I'm not here to blame. That is not the point of why we're all here. What we are saying is the time's up. Stop the nonsense and pass this damn budget the way you need to do. And I think the most important thing here to recognize is that nobody here is pointing the dirty end of the stick at anyone. All we're saying is we are at the half-yard line. The game is about to be over, so make your move and make Pennsylvania the winner that we deserve to be. When it comes to situations like this, there are no such thing as political winners. You know what there are losers amongst all of us. So stop the bullshit and get this done. Thank you so much.
Appreciate Darren Kelly telling it like it is. I'm going to invite now. No, it's all good. Truth telling, truth must be told. I'm going to invite up here 412 Justice Education Rights Network Special Education Organizer, Miss Paulette Foster.
Well, what you gonna do with that? What do you say? Pass the damn budget, okay? I ain't got no problem with that. So, as it's been shared, let me get my thing set up here. First of all, it's been shared who I am. So again, my name is Miss Paulette Foster, co-founder of Education Rights Network, a campaign of 412 Justice, which is amazing, 412 Justice. Okay. I am the Special Education Parent Leader Organizer. And with that, on July 7th, a group of Education Community Justice allies had a press conference in front of one of our schools, which is slated to close or be repurposed, creating yet another education desert in that neighborhood. Exactly. All because of our state education budget not being fully funded and the state senators delaying passing a court-mandated, did you hear what I said? A court-mandated funding budget for education, which is already at a deficit of $4.5 billion. However, we are here together as a human rights coalition cord, demanding that the essentials for our students and others are provided. I want to thank Senator Lindsey Williams for her hard fight. She was on that basic education initiative to go across the state to make sure that funding was available, and she stood the ground when others felt that she was not in her space. But this little mite handled her business. We are dealing with lack of food being provided for our students while in schools. We have school bus drivers. I want to acknowledge April. Raise your hand. April is one of our school bus drivers who is on the front lines. If it's not a crossing guard who sees our students in the morning, it's the bus drivers who create that safe space for our children to go to school. So we celebrate our bus drivers. However, there's a shortage, which requires our students in the 6th grade, 11-year-old, to use public transportation to get back and forth from school. Picture your 6th grader, your 11-year-old, getting on Port Authority. There are those of us who will not allow our child to cross the street. So yet they are cutting funding for necessary services for our children. As a special education parent leader organizer, this touches home for me. A student who receives special education services in the city of Pittsburgh has an opportunity to ride public transportation through a service provided called travel training in special education. It is a process that differently able children are able to use public transportation safely and independently. It focuses on building the skills and confidence needed to travel through the transit system and handle various travel situations. This training is crucial for promoting independence, enabling participation in education, unemployment, and community life. So a student who receives special education services has the right to be on our public transportation. This funding needs to be offered at all times. Our schools are already failing. Our schools are not failing. We are failing our schools. We are not holding our senators responsible for money that we pay through our tax dollars. We collectively demand those Republican state senators who have been playing the bait and switch game far too long to stop holding our tax dollars ransom and pass the damn budget. Thank you.
Just Harvest, Director of Public Benefits Policy and Programs, and Sanders, to speak about the ways in which delaying the budget has consequences for food access as well.
Hi all, my name is Ann Sanders. I work at Just Harvest. I proudly manage our SNAP outreach team, which helps folks apply for food assistance every day. We're here because we know that funding delays result in service providers being unable to pay staff when the state does not release funds, does not pass a budget. You can't cut paychecks if there's no money left in the account. And staffing is critical across the entire human services spectrum. We know that we need staffing to process benefits like SNAP and medical assistance. We need staffing at our after-school feeding programs. We need staffing to manage buses. We need staffing for everything. The people are what makes the programs work. And without a budget, you can't pay the people. And so I think that's really important that a budget get passed now, on time, late, 42 days late. It's too late. You start running into crises with funding across the spectrum whenever things get this delayed. So we need a budget passed now. We need to secure transit. We need to secure human services across Pennsylvania for everyone.
That's good. I'm glad. We're going to practice chanting some more in a second here. I do want to make sure that one of my friends, a real transit champion, the leader of a local that is moving hundreds of thousands of riders a day here in Allegheny County, is heard before he has to go back up to Harrisburg again to try to push to get this budget passed. ATU Local 85 President Ross Nicotero.
Thank you, Laura. Thank you, Senator Williams, Senator Costa, always being a champion of transit, President Darren Kelly, a friend, and the labor movement. So, like Laura mentioned, my name's Ross Nicotero. I'm the President Business Agent for ATU Local 85 here in Pittsburgh. I represent 2,200 members that, as you see, rolling these buses, the T, working on them, the secretaries, the SDAs, the first-line supervisors. I also represent 3,200 retirees, and a couple are in the audience tonight. So, while this always comes out as a Pittsburgh, Philadelphia thing, and while we are the economic engine for the old Commonwealth, there's 67 counties in this Commonwealth. I also represent 17 AT locals throughout the Commonwealth. Bethlehem, Erie, Scranton, we all have the same problems. You need to fund transit. These are good union-paying jobs. And just to touch base on here in the county alone, 19 communities would lose their transit altogether. 41 routes. We've been around, Local 85's been around 128 years. We could get it right during the Depression. We could get it right while there was horse and buggy, but we can't get it right in 2025. People need to get the dialysis. Our grandparents need to get to pharmacies, doctor's appointments, and most importantly, like some people spoke of today, kids need to get to school. We need to get off this and put the political to the side, fund the budget, get transit done, and get it done now. So like the senator mentioned, 1788 passed this morning. We still have fight. We still have more fight to do due to the fact that it ain't across the finish line. I thank everybody for showing up today and speaking. And once again, Local 85 will continue to fight to restore service and grow service because these people are the backbone of the economy here in Allegheny County. They move people where they need to go. There's too many big events coming in the next year. The NFL Draft coming to our hometown here on the North Shore. The 250th anniversary of the United States. You're going to have activities and events all throughout the Commonwealth, but we're not going to have a way to get people to and from them. It's just ludicrous. So, once again, let everybody know that we were here to fight, and we will continue to fight till we get this across the finish line. Thank you.
We have one more speaker. This one speaker is probably the most important one, and is Sewickley resident Libby Powers, who is an advocate, somebody who relies on transit, who is in Senator Devlin Robinson's district, who is an important vote in this conversation. Libby, we're going to get you to the podium. Let's see. Can we move this? Can we? Here we go. Come on. Yeah.
I can do it. Okay. I was going to be like, I can raise too.
There you go. All right, Libby.
Good morning. My name is Libby Powers. Let me hear you say, fund public transit.
Fund public transit. Fund public transit.
I'd like to thank first Senator Lindsey Williams and Senator Jay Costa for being here this morning for the right fight on the right side of the fight for public transit. In 2012, I made the life-changing decision to move back to my hometown of Sewickley, Pennsylvania, because where I was currently living in the North Hills became a public transit desert with no public transit service going to and from anywhere in the North Hills avenues. For the first time in my life, I would not have to rely on my parents, siblings, friends, or access paratransit to get around town. I had way more scheduling flexibility and had a newfound sense of independence and freedom because of public transit. For context, I'm a currently active daily PRT transit rider on the number 14 Ohio Valley route, which either goes to Ambridge, PA, or to the North Shore and Allegheny T Station. From there, I can go to downtown and take any of the other PRT routes However, the PRT system is far, far from perfect, and we are currently receiving subpar service and with drastically changing bus schedules, which currently eliminates bus service times during regular business hours and slows things down for riders considerably. Weekend bus service is already limited, making it harder to explore and enjoy all the wonderful things that Pittsburgh has to offer. This is just one of the many reasons I am here today to fight for more than just the status quo. The number 14 Ohio Valley bus is one of the bus routes that is currently on the chopping block completely. Shame. 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 If PRT completely eliminates the 14 Ohio Valley bus route, they're not just making it harder for me to navigate through the already difficult, inaccessible world independently as a full-time wheelchair user and bus rider. They are stripping away my independence.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. My ability to be financially independent, because I will have to quit my full-time job, in-office job that is downtown, because I won't have a way to get there. I will then have to move back in with my parents to not just save money, but to go back to fully relying on them for my transportation needs, which as a 37-year-old, I do not want to do, nor should I have to, just because of the poor, desperate decision-making by PRT that very clearly does not justly serve the public. Senator Robinson, according to a recent survey of constituents in your district, which I am one of your constituents, 79% of your constituents support an investment of $117 million from the state to assist PRT, and 11% of your constituents support Governor Josh Shapiro's $40 million in the budget to assist PRT. And only 9% of individuals in your district surveyed do not support the proposed increase in funding for PRT. As you can clearly see, most of the people who took this survey think that the state should invest $117 million into PRT.
That's right.
Yeah. These numbers clearly speak for themselves. Supporting the increase in funding for PRT is not just the right thing to do. It is protecting a crucial lifeline for folks like me. It is fulfilling your obligation to your constituents. I am asking you to act now and not only call on your fellow leadership to pass a fair budget that protects our public transportation system, but I also need you, sir, to come out and publicly affirm that you will vote yes for this proposed legislation that increases funding for public transit. Thank you.